Hello everyone and welcome to a circuit update, and this is for the Los Santos Grand Prix circuit in particular. Now in this video I'm going to explain a little bit more about a little update that I've made to the Los Santos Grand Prix circuit, why I've done it, and introduce you to another new loop of the Grand Prix circuit as well. So as we're coming around here, this is the part of the Los Santos Grand Prix circuit that you know. So obviously it's a right turn after a right turn after a right turn, and then another right turn after that. And this was something that I'd never really looked at in great detail. It was kind of, I just put it in and I hadn't really looked at it initially, ever since I put it in the first place. And I didn't really, after further thought, like it that much. I didn't like that the best line was on the outside, on the grass. I didn't like that you could cut the corners too much. It was kind of a nothing corner compared to the rest of the track, which was a lot more involved. So this is how it did look then, with basically the right turn after the right turn. And this is how it looks now. As you can see, that's quite a bit of a difference. So what happens, instead of you turning right, you now turn left through a little chicane, which is also a corner that was the only really part. It was the only corner that was really missing from the main circuit. And then you go through the chicane and then go right around the top part there, which is kind of a hairpin. So this is what it looks like from a replay standpoint. So you come through the chicane there. Then you go a bit further around this section here, and then back and meet up with the track at the same point. And this is something that I feel makes the Grand Prix circuit a whole lot better. This is a much more involved corner now. This is a much more involved section of the track, and there's a lot more to it rather than just turning right, turning right, turning right, trying to cut corners as much as possible, ending up hitting lampposts and all sorts of things like that. It was kind of a bit clumsy in the old way. This way I feel is a lot better and a lot more akin to having a proper Grand Prix circuit. So this is the chicane, obviously. Now those barriers are quite tight and they do penalise you quite hard for making a mistake. So you want to give those a wide berth during a race. So obviously, that is a chicane. It's quite a big chicane, but it's the only part. A chicane was really the only type of corner that was missing from the main circuit in terms of hairpins, chicanes, long corners, things like that. So that kind of fills a void there. And then you come around this section, which is quite bumpy, so you do need to be a little bit careful. But if you get the right line through it, you can power all the way through this last part of that, and then you get a lot of speed down this straight here. And that also makes the corner after this, the right-hand corner, a lot more involved as well. And obviously that's the old part of the track there, which doesn't get used anymore. This also increases the lap time slightly in terms of the full circuit, so you're not going to be seeing any more 136s like I managed to get in this race. And it will be around a 145 lap time now for custom supercars. So there it is in the old fashion, and this is it in its new fashion as a top-down view. And we've also got a new circuit, which is this. This is the Los Santos Grand Prix Upper Loop. So we have the inner loop, we have the outer loop, we have the drag strip, and now we've got the upper loop, and that contains the new section of the track. So the description for the upper loop is as follows. The upper loop of the Los Santos Grand Prix circuit contains the famous crossing section which turns this track into a figure of 8. Once you pass the tunnel exit, you can enjoy the high-speed second half of the lap, but the first half is much more technical. Be careful at the chicane. And that's pretty much exactly what it is. It is focusing on the upper half of the main circuit and the actual looping section, which was missed out in the inner loop and the outer loop. So as you can see, the first corner is exactly the same, but this time you turn left here rather than going straight down to where the hairpin normally is. And you go through the tunnel under the normal circumstances. As you can see, the bollards there stop you from going down here. And you come out of the tunnel and just do the normal part of the Los Santos Grand Prix circuit, the full circuit, as it is now. So this is basically showcasing the new part of the track. And if you want to get used to this part of the track, you should probably try out this loop. So as you can see, the chicane's there anyway. And remember that this does actually add a little bit of time to this section of the track, which means that collisions coming out of the tunnel will happen less frequently because you have to be a little bit further ahead, about 5 or 6 seconds, before you're actually going to meet up with anyone coming out of the tunnel. So as you come down here, the right hand turn here is a lot more involved because you're going at a lot higher speeds and it's actually a proper corner now. And the tyres that are normally around for the hairpin have been moved to the outside of the circuit, which you might expect if this was a proper racing circuit. But instead of going anywhere else on the other side, you come straight through here after you've done that right-hander, which means that you miss out all of that part of the track. there isn't the hairpin anymore, there isn't all of that side of the track. You basically cut all that out, go straight through this section, and you also miss out the little part through the newspaper offices. You just take a left-hand turn here. You can carry a lot of speed through, and you will be going quite quick at that point. You can carry a lot of speed through all the way to the outside of the off-ramp section here. Obviously the bollards are there to stop you from going where you shouldn't be going. And you cut underneath the bridge. You can get a nice corner cut on that corner. Carry all the speed round and back to the start-finish line. So obviously, as I was saying, this is quite a nice fast and flowing second part of the track, and the first part is quite technical. So here's a race on it. It's basically just a 3-lap race. I do pull off at the start and then work my way back up, just because, you know, just to show you other people on the track at different points. And yeah, you know, the reason I've done this track is because the inner loop all pretty much focused on, you know, all the tighter technical sections of the track. The outer loop was the really quick one, you know, it focused on going right around the outside of the main circuit. And there wasn't really anything that focused on that loop at the top, in the top left-hand corner of the track. And the reason that none of the loops included that is really because it was such a boring part of the track. You know, all it was 4 right-hand corners that were pretty boring, really. You know, there wasn't much to them, so there was no point in including them in a different loop. But since I've made the change here, I figured, you know, that it is a part of the track that warrants its own little section, and I think it works quite well because it highlights, you know, the main focus of it is that top section, and it is the crossover at the exit of the tunnel as well. So obviously this is limited to 8 players, because it would be quite crazy if there were 16. It is a much smaller track, and the chance of hitting someone on that part is probably the same as the main circuit with 16. So, you know, it just highlights that part of the track a little bit more, and I think that covers quite a lot of the bases, really. So we've got the inner loop, the outer loop, and now the upper loop as well. Who knows if there'll be a lower loop, but I probably doubt it. So yeah, you know, that I wanted to show you guys and let you guys know of this change. If you do want to play this track, just click the link down in the description. You can add it to your game. If you want to try out the new Los Santos Grand Prix circuit, that if you already have it added to your game, just load it up and give it a try. It will automatically be changed. That is for both PS3 and Xbox. And I've also put a playlist down in the description as well, which is a playlist that contains all of the Los Santos Grand Prix circuit configurations. So it has the main circuit, the drag strip, the inner loop, the outer loop, and the upper loop. So it has all of them in there, and you can just play through them all in one go. So I hope you do just decide to give it a go. Have a look at the little changes that have been made. Let me know what you think. There have been a few more checkpoint updates as well, which make the track flow a little bit better. But basically, you know, let me know what you think about this main change to that part of the main circuit. Have a go as well. Let me see, see what you think. Report back. Let me know whether you think it's a positive change or not. I certainly think it is. I'm really happy with the change. I think it just makes that part of the circuit much more interesting. But I want to know what you think as well. And also, just to let you know about the Bruffy Verified series, the next episode of that will be soon. I'm just basically, you know, it takes time to work through all of the tracks that have been sent to me. There are quite a few. Whether all of the new cars coming out and me having to test them will delay that a little bit, I don't know. It depends on when they decide to release them. But I'm working to get it out as quickly as possible. So yeah, boot up the Los Santos Grand Prix circuit again, give it a bit of a revisit, and let me know what you think with the new changes. Give the upper loop a try, and you might as well give the inner loop and the outer loop a try. Remember, the description contains all of the links for that playlist that you'll need. And thanks a lot for watching. I really appreciate your support as always. Be sure to leave a like if you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.